But when you look biblically, a man and a woman is not even. Their roles, their responsibility, there are things that separate a man from a woman. That's the reason as men, we got to tighten up. See, we live in a time where a lot of women do things, not necessarily because that's the original way that God wanted it, but they have to do it because there's no man to do what he's supposed to do. Too many men missing in action. And before you pat yourself on the back, brother, just being at the house don't mean you on duty. Come on, I'm going to break it down. Well, I'm there. Being there is not enough. If you're there but you're a bad example, what good is it? Are y'all ready for this? Brothers, there are brothers in this church missing in action. Won't be the man God ordained. There are married brothers in this church. Won't step up and tell a woman what she needs to hear. Just point blank. Point blank. Want somebody else to do it. No, if you're a man, you ain't got no problem telling your wife what to do when it's right to tell her what to do. What was that? 2 claps? I knew it was going to be like this. I knew it was going to be like this. Brothers will get upset with you. You hear me? And will show it. Now, last week, how that word was hitting them sisters? They were squirming a little bit, but they were still smiling. I got a whole lot of amen. These brothers just sit there like they just biting their tongue till it's over. But you have to be careful. When you see a man acting like a woman, and he got all kind of excuses about why his mannerisms are the way they are, that ain't good. See, it needs to be a man to show him. Too many women allow boys to hang with too many girls. Okay, so in Daniel was found an excellent spirit. Listen to me. He had an excellent spirit. Do you understand? Daniel had an excellent spirit. Number one, when it talks about Daniel having an excellent spirit, this is what I want you to understand. Is that in order for them to know that he had an excellent spirit, they had to carefully observe him. They had to, listen to me, examine him closely. Do you understand? In order to know that he had an excellent spirit, somebody had to watch Daniel. Listen to me. Somebody had to observe him, to take notice of how he handled himself. Because when they say of him that he had an excellent spirit, how do you know except you thoroughly examine his life? Because see, sometimes we're quick to say we're something, that if somebody would carefully observe you, you may not be all that you claim to be. I know I'm a good husband. Let me carefully observe you. Then we'll come back with the verdict. I know I'm a good father. Let's carefully observe you. Let's watch you closely. And let's see. And see, when they watched Daniel, they came away knowing that he had an excellent spirit. He had an excellent spirit. He behaved with wisdom. He talked with wisdom. The things he did proved that he was a man of wisdom. See, he behaved wisely. See, brothers, the first thing we got to understand, that if we gonna have an excellent spirit, we got to know how to behave. We have to behave wisely. Listen, not just at church, brother. Not just at church. Because some men are good at looking the part of being humble. But they're not humble at home. They're not humble on the job. See, if we're going to have an excellent spirit, we got to behave wisely. You got to know how to carry yourself, brother. You got to know how to carry yourself. You got to know how to behave, brother, when things go your way. But you also got to know how to behave when it don't go your way. Because things not going your way, brother, is not an excuse for you to misbehave outside of the word of God. Come on. It's not an excuse. You got to behave wisely. Finally, Daniel knew how to do things decently and in order. He knew how to do things decently and in order. So he had an excellent spirit. Understand, a man who knew how to behave wisely, a man who knew how to do things decently and in order. And the Bible teaches us to let all things be done how? Decently and what? In order. See, when you got an excellent spirit, you know how to do things. Listen, you know how to talk to people. You know how to correct people. You know things that need to be dealt with in public, but you know things that needs to be dealt with privately. See, you know how to do things decently and what? In order. You know how to treat people. You know how to treat other brothers. Am I right? Finally, he was a praying man, which meant that when it came to Daniel, he sought God for direction and understanding. Listen, man, this is where so many men go wrong. They don't seek God for direction. They don't seek God for understanding. You notice how Daniel did things decently and in order. A lot of men do things out of order because they don't seek God for direction. They don't ask God for understanding of how to do things. Listen to me, as a man, we need to know how to handle things, brothers. Brothers, we need to know how to handle things. We want to live up to who God created us to be. So when it comes to how I handle things, I want to handle things right. I want God to give me wisdom to show me, Lord, how do I deal with this? This is a problem in my house. I'm the head of my house. Give me understanding and show me how to deal with this at the house. The house is out of order, but God, I'm seeking you for order. Come on, I'm not just running around breaking up stuff. I'm just not running around yelling and screaming and acting crazy. But I'm seeking God for understanding. He ain't doing nothing. It looks like I'm not doing nothing, but I'm seeking God so he'll show me how to fix this. Show me how to get this back in order. But you know what a lot of men do when things out of order at the house or in their life? They just pretend it ain't. Come on, men, a lot of men just ignore things. That's their way of dealing with it. They ain't gonna deal with it. They ain't gonna talk about it. They don't have no conversation. They don't want you pointed out. Well, my sisters that can say amen, that know some brothers that they don't want to talk about it. Come on. See, the word is what's going to what? Help brothers get to where they need to be. Y'all brothers hang in here because I'm going to show you why this is so important. Because the way that God created man, we got something to live up to, brothers. When God created man, when he created Adam, the dominion he gave him, the authority that he gave him, you don't see men operating with that same authority. You don't see it. But I'm going to show you what you do see in men. Because I want to deal with some things that hinder men from having an excellent spirit. I want to deal with some things that hinders men from having an excellent spirit. And brother, recognize again that if you don't have an excellent spirit, you can't teach it. You can't teach it. You can say, but who you trying to teach it to ain't going to see you doing. Come on. And that's what's got so many houses out of order. Men saying, but ain't doing. But ain't doing. Even to the point to where men in the church need to tighten up. I'm just going to be honest with you. A lot of times in church, women do a lot in church sometimes because when it comes to brothers, you just don't see men just stepping up the way you need to. Job 11 and verse 12. Let's look at what Zophar, Job's friend, says about men. Job 11 and 12, he said, for an empty-headed man will be wise when a wild donkey's coat is born a man. Job 11 and 12, for an empty-headed man will be wise. Notice when an empty-headed man gonna be wise. When a wild donkey's coat is born a man. Look at somebody real quick and just tell them, say, and that will never happen. Listen to me. God created humans to reproduce according to his kind. He ordained for animals to reproduce according to his kind. So you can't put a man with a donkey and get a man. God has already excluded that, being the sovereign one. Listen. So he uses something that can in no way happen. Under no circumstance, I'm already teaching, can this happen. So the reason a lot of brothers don't have an excellent spirit, because maybe not in totality, but in some ways, they empty-headed.